Today, someone asked me in the comment whether I could teach them Siddha Kundalini Yoga or Kundalini Yoga, and whether I could teach them meditation. I've posted over the past many years a lot of videos trying to make a lot of people realize that meditation is not something that someone can teach you. If they are the vessel of that meditation, meditation means their consciousness is absorbed. So when their consciousness is absorbed, their frequency is different than of those people who generate thoughts and emotions on, daily basis or hourly basis or continuously. And so in order to realize that meditation is not something to be practiced, we are to awaken to our natural being. To awaken means that when you connect to that space of consciousness beyond thoughts and emotions, whether it is represented by someone is that example, living example of that meditation, or whether it's your own, effort, it will result in one and the same experience, which is the experience of yoga alignment, where your body aligns with a higher being, and at that point, thoughts and emotions are dissolved, whether temporarily or usually temporarily. But when you refine yourself and go through a process of self-observation for some time, sometimes for decades or lifetimes, eventually you dissolve all the karmic residue, and it's only the karmic residue that generates thoughts and emotions. Otherwise, you would be constantly in peace. So when you watch this transmission now, you will realize what meditation is naturally, effortlessly. And all the other names, this yoga, that yoga, they just show the path or the emphasis in this path. So Siddha Kundalini Yoga is the path of awakening consciousness, the evolution of consciousness, which happens naturally, effortlessly, and the restoration of one's natural being, so that one realizes what natural spirituality is, what it is to be a real human being. A real human being does not generate thoughts and emotions uncontrollably. They have that in potentiality. So this is the transmission that will invoke the state and will bring your focus within. There is no meditation without natural magnetic absorption at the root. This is the root. This is the spiritual heart. And when this is, all the elements are aligned here, meaning your consciousness is absorbed, you perceive bliss all over the body, in your cells, in all your organ systems and glands, because the physical system is just a reflection of what's happening in your consciousness. It is consciousness that generates thoughts and emotions when it tries to purge the karmic residue. And the purpose of every consciousness that comes into the embodiment is to purge. And you will have those thoughts and emotions until you purged it completely, to the point when you start having glimpses of peace and contentment and that natural absorption. At any point of time, whether you sit in that lotus position or whether you walk around, your state will be absorption. Absorption means, you're looking, but you're not looking. All these different terms, which are Samadhi, meditation, Shambhavi Mudra, this Mudra, Mahamudra, they're all describing one and the same phenomena, the experience of yoga, unity, the experience of deep, blissful absorption into one's natural being. So it's a silent meditation. You don't need to focus. You can just look here, and then it will help you to tune into the presence of this high frequency, so that you can actually realize that it's your own space of consciousness too, so that in future you can also cultivate it within. This is just a support, a sharing of an experience which can become later on, with the refinement and self-observation, your natural state of being. some of you may use tools to induce this state of being. The point is not to experience it in glimpses. The point is to cultivate it within. To cultivate, not to practice. It means whenever you perceive this strong, magnetic feeling, relaxation, you allow it to happen. You allow this relaxation. And yet it seems natural to those who have been in it. Yet for the majority, it seems like it's something that they have to make an effort for. But meditations are natural beings, so you need to awaken to that. And this is the only thing to awaken to the natural being, because then your meditation is everywhere at any point, whether you speak or keep silence, whether you walk or do anything or don't do. And what happens is that you're absorbed into a blissful state. You're absorbed into your high being. All your cells are vibrating, and it draws you into the body naturally. You don't need to practice this. The other point is that you're like kind of like mesmerized by that inner feeling of gentle bliss, relaxation, awareness, which are in unison, and you just surrender into that. The signs of meditation are natural, subtle breath. So your active breath subsides, so you don't need to retain breath forcefully, because it's not going to lead anywhere. Perhaps only will cause you health issues. So it's very, very important to realize the spirituality, spiritual evolution should not and cannot be pushed, because it is the soul path. The soul is wiser, more intelligent. It knows itself, and it sees if the mind, which it also has, which is connected to the body and this embodiment overall, this incarnated state, has its own time and sometimes needs maturity. Maturity is not about what you think or how many philosophies you read, what you know about this or that saint or which gurus you followed. Maturity means you can surrender and let go, and you have a degree of humility, which is a sign of heightened intelligence, spiritual intelligence. By repeating words, by trying something, by acting hypocritical, you're not getting anywhere, fooling yourself and others. So this is the state of authenticity. If you're not authentic, you cannot experience that depth within yourself, nor you can see the depth in others. So when you are mature as a soul, despite your age or actions or non-action, you will vibrate a certain frequency. So our soul is of a certain cumulative frequency. And if the soul is mature, it will be more established in itself, even while being in the body, incarnated, still in that physical vessel. And so it will generate powerful vibrations, presence. And the presence itself teaches, heals, makes others awaken effortlessly, naturally, without any egoic intent. And this is called selfless being, selfless service. Other people may think about it as a service, but that being who is in that absorbed state is just the emanation of that. Others may say they're the emanation of love, spirituality, this or that. Sometimes they may feel their ego is reflected back to them and they feel disturbed. And this is because when you are in that natural, authentic state, you are like a mirror reflecting effortlessly. And yet this is not the purpose. This is not the purpose. It's the foundation on which you can actually start tapping into higher forms of energy, into higher forms of knowledge, because your natural state is this. You're content, you're at peace, you're receptive, you're humble, you realize the greatness of creation. And so creation unfolds all its power within you. So this natural being is a foundation. It's not a goal. When people tell you that it is a goal, they must be not aware or not knowing what they speak about. So this transmission was just an example of what natural being is. It means that you're aligned and at peace and content. At first, the deeper your absorption goes, the more you realize the frequency of the soul rather than you perceive only the karmic residue and the low frequencies which disturb your body. When you are on a high frequency, your body is undisturbed. That's why it enjoys balance, and balance is health. And so for each and every person who wants to learn, you have to be open to that higher grace, to that higher frequency, so that you recognize it within, you awaken to it, you experience it, and then you know. People can tell you, they can teach you. No one can jump into your body or change your frequency, but when you are in the presence of someone who is that high frequency, it becomes contagious, and you just are able to tune in and realize that it is also within you, if it is. So thank you very much for your attention. May everyone who watches this transmission be blessed, be protected, and awaken to that natural being, and have enough courage and humility to cultivate it and to establish in it. Thank you very much.